Hi there Internet, and welcome to TIH. Today I want to talk about religious freedom bills. This is a concept that has been growing since the early 1990s. So a religious freedom bill, in theory, is designed to protect those who have objections on a religious basis to certain activities, in that their objections would not be punished by their government. Now, this will be all fine and understandable if it was a matter of protecting one's freedom of speech, but that is simply not the case for the vast majority of those who are supporting these laws. Firstly, there is no logical reason why a law such as this actually needs to exist in a society where there is already a basic sense of equal civil rights. In most Western nations, there exists laws that protect selected protected groups. In that, it would be considered unlawful to discriminate against members of these protected groups in the sectors of education, employment, and the business world. However, religious freedom bills make the situation unnecessarily complicated to such an extent that it outright contradicts the very ideology of what freedom is. You cannot have a true sense of equality if laws are being established that are basically giving certain groups of people a special privilege to discriminate against others. That is a contradiction. There are already legal protections that give citizens of the United States and many other Western nations the freedom of and from religion. Despite what many opponents of secularism will say, there are no laws that is prohibiting a person from praying or practicing their religion in any way, providing that these individuals are not disturbing the peace or trumping anyone else's civil rights. There are also no laws that is enforcing that a person must accept one faith over another or must accept any faith at all. This should be, and in my opinion is, enough to satisfy a person's freedom in terms of their faith or lack thereof. All these laws are doing is permitting religious business owners the permission to discriminate against members of other faiths and the LGBT. As someone who has worked in customer service related roles for almost 17 years now, I can assure you that is not a wise business strategy at all. In a customer service environment, the customer ought to always come first in most circumstances. Now, of course, there are circumstances that arise where you will get patrons who are behaving in an antisocial or abusive or even an aggressive manner. In those such cases, obviously a business owner or management should have the right to refuse service. But it is extremely bad business practice to be actively discriminating against your customers. Now, I know there's a lot to be said for a boycott, and boycotting is something I will get into in more in depth further down the line on this channel. But to be profiling another human being and group of human beings in this manner is discrimination. Religion is not an excuse to discriminate against other human beings, because it is what it is, and that is a belief. And a belief is not a rational or respectable reason to discriminate against another person, and that should not be accepted in secular society. A place of business is no place for a person's religion, just as it is deemed equally as unprofessional to be spending your time on social media or playing a game on your iPhone when you're supposed to be doing a job. Your non-business related interests can take place on your own time. They can even take place on your lunch break if you so wish so. Because if you can't look after your customers' needs, or in this case refuse to, quite frankly, you are not doing your job as a customer service employee, and that includes business owners, management, and companies who are in the sector of customer service. And while there is an argument to be made that private businesses should be in control of how they run their companies and shouldn't have that control taken away by the government, and those business owners should still uphold the right to refuse service to patrons, providing that they don't make it known that the reason behind the refusal of service is an ulterior, bigoted motive. In fact, business owners and management of companies are not legally obliged to give a reason to why they refuse service to any customer. And from an understanding of marketing and PR, I can totally appreciate that. But the very moment you bring religion into a business, civil rights are being violated, and those businesses are not being run professionally. The very fact that LGBT, persons of color, persons of alternative faiths, the very fact that they exist is not an attack on your religion or your faith. Business owners are not ambassadors of their faith when they are present in their shops or cafes. They are there to represent the service they are supplying to their customers. They have an obligation, they have a duty to make their customers feel welcome. If you are unable to do that without reservation, you're in the wrong business. As always, I would love to hear your thoughts on this issue. Write me a comment down below, tell me what you think, or if you would prefer to leave a video response, check out the description area for the video response link, which will lead you to a Twitter feed where you can paste your video response there. Thank you so very much for watching. Take care, everyone.